Addict. An addict is a person who cannot stop doing or having something.
She was a coffee addict. She had more than 3 cups each day.
Archeological. When something is archeological, it relates to archeology.
They found archaeological evidence that proved an ancient species of man.
Archeology. Archeology is the study of ancient people through their artifacts.
He studied archaeology to learn more about ancient Egyptian culture.
Brainstorm. To brainstorm is to have a lot of ideas about a certain topic.
The students met after school to brainstorm ideas for their assignment.
Budget. A budget is the amount of money available to spend on something.
His budget for food was very tight.
Chaotic. When something is chaotic, it is crazy, confused, and hectic.
The first day of school can be chaotic for a new student.
Cite. To cite something is to mention it as an example or as proof of something.
She cited 6 reasons that the school needed to build new classrooms.
Correspond. To correspond is to match or to be similar to something.
The boy's story didn't correspond with his mother's version.
Courtyard. A courtyard is an outdoor area that is surrounded by the walls of a building.
During the summer, the courtyard is a nice place to have lunch.
Estate. An estate is a large area of land owned by a family or organization.
He lived on his father's estate in the country.
Fraud. Fraud is the crime of gaining money by lying or by tricking people.
Experts say that credit card fraud increases around the holidays.
Hydrogen. Hydrogen is a gas that has no taste, color, or smell.
Balloons filled with hydrogen can easily float away if you aren't careful.
Integrity. Integrity is honesty and good morals.
The principal had a lot of integrity.
Knit. To knit is to make fabric by connecting strings together.
My grandmother knitted me a sweater.
Outlook. An outlook is a person's opinion or way of thinking about something.
He changed his outlook about rats after he read a book about them.
Parachute. A parachute is a device that helps people and things fall to the ground safely.
They used parachutes dropped from airplanes to send supplies to the civilians.
Prehistoric. When something is prehistoric, it is from a time when there was no written history.
The scientists found prehistoric pots used by the people in the area.
Proponent. A proponent is a person who supports an idea or a plan.
He was a proponent of using environmentally friendly products.
Refine. To refine something is to make it better by making changes.
The principal refined his method of controlling students over the years.
Restrict. To restrict is to limit something and prevent it from getting bigger.
The club restricted the amount of members.
Attorney. An attorney is one who gives others advice about the law.
The attorney appeared in front of the judge for me.
Chronic. When something is chronic, it happens over and over again over time.
He had chronic pain in his chest and needed to see a doctor.
Discipline. Discipline is training that helps people follow the rules.
One of the teacher's jobs is to teach her students discipline.
Donor. A donor is somebody who gives something to an organization.
He was proud to be a blood donor.
Fellow. A fellow is someone who shares a job or quality with someone else.
All of my fellow patients at the hospital have also complained about the food.
Gossip. Gossip is information that might be untrue but is still discussed anyway.
The friends exchanged gossip about the people they knew in school.
Graduate. To graduate from a school means to complete and pass all courses of study there.
At the end of the spring, my friends and I will graduate from high school.
Graffiti. Graffiti is words or drawings in public places.
The wall was covered with colorful graffiti.
Guardian. A guardian is someone who protects somebody or something.
The librarians are the guardians of the books.
Implicate. To implicate someone is to show that they have done a crime or something bad.
The man was implicated in the theft at the store.
Kin. Kin is a person's family and relatives.
His kin were all farmers.
Referee. A referee is a person who makes sure that the rules are followed in sports.
The soccer player didn't agree with the referee.
Sever. To sever something is to cut through it completely.
He severed the string using scissors.
Shaft. A shaft is a handle of a tool or weapon.
The golf club had a long wooden shaft that he held in his hands.
Stab. To stab means to cut someone or something with a sharp object, like a knife.
He stabbed the fork into the potato and passed it to his daughter.
Stimulus. A stimulus is something that causes growth or activity.
Having a lot of money is a stimulus for people to buy more things.
Suspicion. A suspicion is a feeling that something is possible or true in a crime.
The police had a suspicion that the driver had stolen the purse.
Terminate. To terminate something means to stop or end it.
The trip was terminated after the car broke down.
Theme. A theme is the main subject of a book, movie, or painting.
The students discussed the book's theme in class.
Tuition. Tuition is the amount of money paid to go to a school.
University tuitions have increased by 50% in the last 5 years.
Aggressive. If someone is aggressive, then they constantly want to fight.
Nobody liked to play games with him because he was always too aggressive.
Amnesty. Amnesty is a pardon given to prisoners of war.
She was denied amnesty for her involvement in the war.
Arena. An arena is a building where people can watch sports and concerts.
The new arena was all set to hold the championship match.
Auditorium. An auditorium is a large building used for public events.
People have gathered at the school auditorium to watch the play.
Captive. A captive is a prisoner.
The guards told the captive that there was no way he could escape the prison.
Combat. Combat is fighting between two people or groups.
The two warriors were locked in combat.
Commonplace. If something is commonplace, then it is ordinary.
There is nothing commonplace about the way Morris dresses.
Compound. A compound is an enclosed area such as a prison or factory.
The workers waited outside the compound for the gates to the factory to open.
Corps. A corps is a division of a military force.
The army had a corps of archers who trained apart from the regular soldiers.
Distract. To distract someone means to stop them from concentrating on something.
The phone call distracted him so much that he forgot all about his homework.
Dumb. If someone is dumb, they are unable to speak.
She did not share the secret. She remained silent as if she were dumb.
Foe. A foe is an enemy or opponent.
It was hard to believe that anyone could be his foe.
Hack. To hack something means to cut it into uneven pieces.
My uncle used the axe to hack the tree into many logs.
Meditate. To meditate means to focus or think deeply in silence.
She liked to meditate for several hours of each day.
Nick. To nick someone means to cut them slightly with a sharp object.
While cutting the carrots, the cook nicked his finger with the edge of his knife.
Provoke. To provoke someone means to annoy them on purpose to cause violence.
The older boy provoked Paul by calling him mean names.
Realm. A realm is any area of activity or interest.
He was not very active in the realm of business.
Reign. A reign is the period of time in which a ruler rules.
The emperor's reign lasted for only 2 years.
Rust. Rust is a red and brown coating on iron objects caused by water and air.
The old metal gate would not swing because the hinges were covered in rust.
Sacred. If something is sacred, then it is worshipped and respected.
One religion in India will not harm cows because it believes that they are sacred.
Accordingly. If someone acts accordingly, they act in a way that is suitable.
He feels like he did a good job, and his boss should pay him accordingly.
Anchor. An anchor is a heavy object dropped from a boat to make it stay in one place.
When the ship reached its destination, the crew dropped the anchor.
Buoy. A buoy is a floating sign that warns boats of dangerous areas.
Don't steer the boat near those buoys. There are rocks underneath the water.
Catastrophe. A catastrophe is an unexpected event that causes great suffering or damage.
It was a catastrophe for my family when my dad lost his job.
Context. Context is the situations that form the background of an event.
They studied the context of the battle before giving their presentation.
Designate. To designate someone or something means to give them a particular description.
The famous lighthouse was designated a historical monument.
Distort. To distort something means to lie about it.
His lawyer distorted the facts so that he would be set free.
Dock. A dock is an enclosed area where ships go to be loaded, unloaded, and repaired.
The huge ship pulled into the dock, and the crew unloaded the cargo.
Fore. The fore of something is the front part of it.
The teacher's desk is at the fore of the classroom.
Frequent. If something is frequent, then it happens or is done often.
While Dad was sick, the doctor made frequent visits to his house.
Genuine. When something is genuine, it is true or real.
After the painting was determined to be genuine, it sold for $1 million.
Grease. Grease is an oily substance put on moving parts so they work smoothly.
When I was done working on the car, I had grease all over my hands.
Intricate. When something is intricate, it has many small parts or details.
The intricate painting on the quilt was very lovely.
Offset. To offset means to use one thing to cancel out the effect of another thing.
Increased wages are offset by higher prices for goods.
Overlap. To overlap something means to cover a piece of it.
The gift on top overlaps the other gift on the bottom.
Precipitate. To precipitate an event means to cause it to happen sooner than normal.
The violent attack precipitated an all-out war.
Secondhand. When something is secondhand, it has been owned by someone else.
Her second-hand jeans were a bit faded in the front.
Slot. A slot is a narrow opening in a machine or container.
To operate the machine, put your coins into the slot.
Submerge. To submerge something means to put it below the surface of a liquid.
The whale submerged its huge body into the ocean.
Tactic. A tactic is a careful plan to achieve something.
Sam thought of a good tactic in order to attract more business.
Aggregate. When a number is aggregate, it is made up of smaller amounts added together.
The company totaled its aggregate sales for the entire year.
Antibiotic. An antibiotic is a medical drug used to kill bacteria and treat infections.
The doctor gave me a shot of an antibiotic when I got the flu.
Circuit. A circuit is a piece of an electronic device that allows electricity to flow.
Be very careful not to shock yourself when fixing an electrical circuit.
Complement. To complement something or someone is to make them better.
The wool scarf complemented her lovely eyes.
Compress. To compress something means to press or squeeze it so that it takes up less space.
I compressed my clothes to fit into a single suitcase.
Database. A database is a collection of data that is stored in a computer.
The company has a database of all the names and accounts of their customers.
Equivalent. An equivalent is an amount or value that is the same as another amount or value.
I worked the equivalent of 60 hours this week.
Immune. When someone is immune to a disease, they cannot be affected by it.
Children usually get shots to make them immune to certain diseases.
Input. Input is information that is put into a computer.
Type the input into the computer program.
Intimate. When a relationship is intimate, the two things are very closely connected.
I only tell my secrets to my most intimate friends.
Magnet. A magnet is a piece of iron or other material which attracts iron toward it.
I used a magnet to pick up the nails that were scattered on the floor.
Metabolism. A person's metabolism is the way chemical processes in their body use energy.
If you exercise every day, your metabolism speeds up.
Microchip. A microchip is a small device inside a computer that holds information.
I can put more data on my computer if I buy a more powerful microchip.
Phase. A phase is a stage in a process or the gradual development of something.
The first phase in the recycling project involves finding volunteers to help out.
Pinch. To pinch means to take a piece of skin between one's fingers and squeeze.
I pinched my nose so I couldn't smell the odor from the garbage.
Prevalent. When something is prevalent, it is common.
Growing a beard is more prevalent behavior in men than women.
Quantum. When something is quantum, it relates to the behavior of atomic particles.
The physics student studied quantum mechanics.
Ratio. A ratio is a relationship between two things expressed in numbers or amounts.
The boy-to-girl ratio is 1:3.
Spiral. A spiral is a shape which winds round and round in a larger and larger circle.
A strand of DNA looks like two interlocking spirals.
Viral. When something is viral, it is a disease or infection that is caused by a virus.
The girl was in bed for a week when she had a viral infection.